traveling for. So just in Europe, just a very quick trip. Obviously exhausted, got back late last night, but for us, I think Merritt gave the rundown of what we're looking to add and the positions and the elements. So for us, it was focusing on one specific player where there were meetings and meetings with the player, meetings with agents and club, and just seeing if we could come to a resolution. And we're optimistic that one will pencil out, but still got a lot of work in front of us.
With the positional needs, so is it essentially what Merritt laid out, or is there any more information on that you can give us?
No, Merritt's actually applied for one of those positions. He thinks he's capable, but I think the positions that Merritt laid out, we have a young right back that there's the formality of still completing some of the paperwork and the transfer agreement, but by and large that deal is done. Looking to add a central defender, a midfielder, a winger, and a forward. And a lot of that looking to add 2 to 3 players to compete for starting spots. And with the young right back, the expectation is, and Gio, you can interrupt me at any time, but that Moreira continues to grow in this league, and that's a player that will remain with us for at least another 6 months. And we're looking at a solution to keep him here for several more years. So I would say several of the positions are key players that we are trying to bring in to help the starting group.
Specifically with Diego Valeri and Brian Fernandez, do you think that they'll be back next season?
I would say Brian's under contract, and the plans are that he is going through. He's been cleared for workouts, and he's not training with the team, but he is back in Portland and he is at the training facility. We are currently following the direction of and he is following the direction and the training program of the SABH policy. So outside of that, we're not allowed to comment. So with that one, all I would say is that we're hopeful that everything gets back on track and his contract is with the club. With Diego Valeri, I think you've read or seen a lot about that in the media relative to where we're at. And without going into too much detail, I think it's been made very, very clear that he's a player that the club respects and loves in every capacity. He's somebody that we acknowledge that has been instrumental in the club's success and is a talented player. On the other side, I would say it's got to be what both parties want. So I don't hold all the information to make that determination.
And there's the desire to try to make sure that he stays. That's why we have ongoing conversations, and we'll see. But these talks and this all the effort to try to get to that place.
And then just, I wonder, with Brian going into the program, with the contract information on Valeri coming out, with the protests going on at the stadium, with all those sort of outside distractions, looking back, do you feel like that impacted the team on the field this year?
Yes. The honest answer is that there's always going to be something. In sports, you're always managing something. But generally, you try to manage what you know is going to happen rather than what you can't see. And testament to Gio and the staff, I think the resolve that they showed and the ability to deal with bad news at times and still turn up at the training facility and go through the work and do the job that they did is remarkable. So if anything, it's been a challenging year. I think we know that. I think there's a level of exhaustion that hit everybody, and also for the players. I think it speaks volumes about their ability to tolerate it. That the culture of the club will always be the most important thing. That we need to solve things the right way and do the right things at all times, and I think that came through.
And I was going to say the same thing in regards to the players, because what they handled during the year and being able to arrive to the final stretch or to the last game, still with a great belief that we can go far, and for everybody to still be united, I think it shows a lot from our players, and that's why I was extremely, I said many times, I was extremely proud in how the guys still continue to compete after a very difficult year.
Can you speak to the goalkeeper depth? I know Steve Clark mentioned he's out of contract, and Jeff's here. Just talk about where you see that, because a couple young guys there. How are you going to address that? How do you feel about that position?
We're hopeful that Steve Clark will be back. We have his rights within MLS, and that he is a player that there will be a bona fide offer made to, and it's a player that I'm in constant contact with the agent, and that we are hopeful that Steve is back for next year. And again, he's part of the equation, we're part of the equation. We hope that we solve our part and make sure that he feels respected and make sure that he knows that this is a club that he has to continue with. And I think when we look at Steve and the moment that we brought him in, it was when there weren't possibly too many options for Steve. And credit to Gio and Memo in getting the most out of Steve and Steve's preparation and professionalism. He was able to perform. Jeff will be coming back from surgery. We expect him to be at full participation mid-February.
Yes.
And Alias, who is another promising young goalkeeper, needs a full pre-season.
So, and we feel that in that particular area, very strong. I don't think that there's that many teams in MLS that can say that they have these type of goalkeepers competing at that position, and we feel pretty strong about it. If everything finished the way we believe that it's going to end up, with having those three players being part of it, I can tell you that we feel pretty confident